Hey guys, welcome along. Thanks for tuning in. We're on to part 4 now of the Spitfire. This is the this will be either the final part or the penultimate part. Should be the final. So this has all gone off now. This is literally like an hour after I finished doing part 3. I've been out cut the grass and now I'm back on this again. I've given the Aquagloss a quick polish. And the underside has had a few scratches, as you can see, but I'm not going to worry about that. So the first thing I want to do is start on the underside with the decals, because I don't remember ever doing a Hobby Boss aircraft and I'm not sure what the decals are like. I'm going to use the Mr. Mark Softer because I think this is a bit more gentle than the Microset. So we'll see how it goes. But the first thing I've noticed, these go away. These roundels under the wings, 17 and 18, I've got those here. Now the first things I want to put on, and straight away I noticed they got to go over these I don't know what they are, air ducts for something or other. So there's no way that decal is going to go over that without deforming. So the first thing I've got to do is, when I got it on, get it all in place and then slit it to allow it to go down either side. Otherwise it's going to end up with an oval roundel, so it'll be an oval all, won't it, instead of a round all. So I'll get this on now and then I'll cut it and I'll show you how we get on. Okay, now this is asking for trouble. Okay, these decals are not nice. They kind of almost sound like greaseproof paper. They're so hard, and they don't want to go down. So you can see with this one, I've slit it there. We've also got a couple of bubbles under there, and we're going to have the same problem over here. So that's going to be an issue. Now I put the Mr. Mark Softer under it, and I don't think that did anything. So I've put some Microset over it. Microset is the blue one, and that has softened it and made it start to comply. But what you've got to be careful of is, if you've got wrinkles, like you can see I've got one here, if you leave that, I don't think that'll go down. So I need to kind of persuade it to go down. I've got a feeling that using very hot water might help, but my worry is, with larger decals like this, is hot water does make them very soft and they can break up when you try and take them off the paper. So that's my opinion and I'm sticking to it. So you need to be a little bit careful. They've also got this funny, if you notice, they've got a funny like a motley finish to them, which I thought would come off after they've been in water, but it's not. Doesn't matter, because once they're glossed over, glossed over and matte coated, they'll be fine. So let's leave that one to settle. So this is asking for trouble. I'm going to show you what I do live on camera, fitting a problem decal to a model airplane live on camera. And not only that, it's a decal, a Hobby Boss decal, that I don't really have much experience with. So I am absolutely asking for trouble here. So this is going to go like that. Okay, it's going to go like that. So get that gun port roughly lined up and then just plonk it down. Now I need to find that gun port again underneath. It's over there. So I'm going to move the decal over there. Yes, I'm saying decal, not decal, and I really don't care. And on that note, it has actually been confirmed to me today that if you watch the video on YouTube, how to fly the B-25, an American guy calls the metalwork around an engine the nacelle. So there we are. So nobody can pick me up on it now, because that's what I'll throw back in their face. So the main thing is I found the problem is keeping that gun porthole aligned. When you start moving it all around to get over these other problems, the decal always moves over. So I'm just going to make a slit there and a slit down the back like so. I mean, you can see how hard it is. It cuts like foil. It's quite incredible. So it's gone down okay around that now. It's stayed around the gun port. Now I'm just going to leave that for a second and perhaps let the microset do a bit of work. Put some more microset on top of it, I think. Which, if you actually read the instructions, it does tell you to do. It does tell you should put some on the top, which most people don't. Even if you look at a lot of the old Verlinden stuff, they tell you to put a drop of the blue on, put the decal on, and then put a drop of the red on top. So yeah, these things are going to be fun. If you had one of these as an instrument panel, I did, didn't I? I think I had one of these as an instrument panel. It's going to be fun to go down. So all you can do now is just make sure it's down, but if you can see here, if you can see that, if you leave that there, that will pull down, but it will probably wrinkle. So what we need to do is make sure we get it softer so we can kind of stretch that out. I'm going to put another little slit there to try and get rid of that one. If you can try and confine the cuts to the white area, that'll make life a lot easier when it comes to corrective action. But if it had just been a couple of small bulges, I would have let it just pull down over them, but with that great big duct there, I was worried that it would actually pull the decal out of shape. God, I jumped out of my skin then. It's probably somebody daring to actually walk past the house, you know, actually using the pavement outside the house. How dare they? And they're probably breathing as well, which makes matters much worse in a dog's eyes. So I'm going to let that set there for a second and leave this running so you can see it in real time. It just means that I'll have to do a part 4 and a part 4A, I expect, or a part 4 and a part 5, because I don't like having massive long videos. So that's started to pull down around the outside. You can even see it started to go down into the panel lines. Now I'm going to put some more microset on there and then give it a little nudge down. Be so careful. This is a wet cotton bud, by the way. The end is wet so that it doesn't stick to the decal. And I'm probably going to end up with some trapped air in there. Two little tiny pricks. There we go, that's gone down much better now. Right, so I think now that's gone down. Now it's time for some micro sole, which may well make it wrinkle up and then it'll make it really pull down. I have to go to Antics tomorrow and pick up my new kit, which is a massively expensive Spitfire for you guys. It's for a Frankie Day Group build. It's another 32nd scale Spitfire and it's 17 quid. Absolute bargain. I mean, I'm not sure, well, I say I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the kit is not good. But right, so leave that like that now. And if you're noticing some discoloration, that is one of the things you get. I think you get this with the floor cleaner as well, the floor polish. But you get that discoloration where you've wetted it. But once it's dried, it disappears. And you get that with the aqua gloss, as you can see there. So that's kind of gone down. Now what's this one doing? This one's still wrinkled up. It's still not wanting to go down. So I'm going to try and get some more microset under it, like so. It's moved off that gum port. I'm going to try and roll that out to get rid of those wrinkles on the outside. Like I say, I don't think here she goes again. I don't think those wrinkles will pull out if you leave them. These decals are so hard. They're almost like tin foil. It's like they want to... I doubt if you can hear it, but they're crackling. They're crackling like a piece of tin foil or like a piece of thin cellophane, you know? That really doesn't want to go down. But they are pretty hard wearing. I mean, you can pull them about. See, I've just pulled that out to make it go down. A lot of decals that would have just disintegrated. When you think it's covered in microset as well, you can give these some abuse. Right, so let's give it a good wet dosing of Microsol. This is the red one. Now you shouldn't really touch them after you put this on, but hey ho. After all, it is a fun build. And I'm not sure if they're the same. I've got the decals off my Tamiya Spitfire. I tend to not use Tamiya decals on aircraft because they're like a scale 3 foot thickness. And as I'm doing this, as we speak, part 3 is loading. So as you're watching this, the bit you saw a couple of days ago, or at this rate maybe a week ago, is just loading now. So that's gone down, got rid of the wrinkles on the outside, so there we are. Right, so another coating of Microsol on there. Might somehow be able to get it to pull down. And there we go, how's this one doing? Yeah, see, that one's pulling down lovely now. They really are tough, these decals. I mean, most decals, you touch them after Microsol, they'd fall apart, or you know, they'd just be like wet paint. So at the end of the day, if I really need to go to town on these, I'll put some leveling thinners on them. That'll bang them down. That'll bang anything down. So if you ever have got decals, especially Bandai decals don't like going over intricate surfaces, I've found. And if you put some Mr. Colour leveling thinners on them, but don't touch them, just drop the brush on, don't brush it on, just put a drop on with the brush, walk away, and you'll find that they'll pull down. But if you touch them, it'll be just like dipping your brush into wet paint. So that one's down now, so we'll leave that for a little while and see what happens. Okay, so there we go. The decals don't seem to be pulling down very well at all. I don't think they're pulling into the panel lines. You can just see a hint of it starting to pull in. I'm not too sure. I think they probably need to be sliced and then put some more in afterwards. There's one thing I cannot stand on any model is when the decals don't pull into the panel lines, and then when you weather it, you just sort of end up picking up the panel line and you get this blank, and then the panel line starts again. So I can't stand that. Yeah, we'll see. This band here, I was gonna paint it on, but I thought let's just see how well this goes down, because I mean it seems to be pulling down. They're just so thick. They're not so much thick as they're really hard. They're like I say, they're like sellotape. That's probably the best way to describe them. They're actually like sellotape, and they don't want to. You can sort of, if this is a wet decal on the wing here, you sort of push this side and the whole thing moves. It doesn't wrinkle up. It's like a solid piece of foil. It's crazy how strong it is. But anyway, I've been about an hour doing those two, those four, and these tiny little ones here, and putting that band on the back. So yeah, they need a lot of work. But then I may find out, when I look at this later, I may find out that it's just a case of just chuck them on, put plenty of setting solution on them, and they go. I mean, it looks like that's starting to pull in a bit. I don't know. Weird, very weird. End of the day, if I have to, I'll put some Mr. Leveling thinners on them, and that'll pull them down. That'll definitely pull them down. It might destroy the paint as well. That's the trouble. So I'm going to leave that there, and then I'll carry on with that later on or in the morning or something. What is it now? It's 10 to 6 on Wednesday the 13th of February. So anyway, yeah, so I'll see you. It's not the end of a video, so I can't say goodbye or please subscribe or any of that rubbish. So I'll see you later. All done. So decals, decals, whatever you want to call them, water slide transfers, they're all on. As you can see, I'm having a bit of a nightmare getting them to go down. The ones underside, I must have put 15, maybe 20 applications of Microsol on there, after they were put on, trying to get them to settle down. You can see there's still some, they still haven't gone into some rivet holes. They've still got this weird motley effect on them as well, which is a bit strange. But these roundels on the wings, they really don't want to go down. I've been soaking them, and they just don't seem to want to go down at all, which is a shame. Well, that one's starting to go on that panel line. But then you look at these here, two of the last decals I put on were these serial numbers, and they've started to go down into the rivets. So this band here I was going to paint on, but I used the decal. That's taken 15-20 applications. The flashes here on the fins, they're starting to go down, but nothing too promising. Oh, and the white paint was definitely worth doing. I was going to show you, but I'd already put them on. It was too late. But if you slide them across, you could definitely see the brown and green through them. So doing the white areas, giving her white bits, it was definitely worth doing. But as you can see, where we've got decals that aren't motley, they are very glossy. They're also quite thick. If you do build this kit and you want to build a nice model out of it, I mean, I don't know why you would, because the fuselage is out of shape and the canopy is awful. But if you do, I would suggest another set of decals. Perhaps if you've got the Tamiya Mozzie, use the decals out of that, because the decals in that aren't very good. Tamiya decals have got a mixed reputation, in my opinion, and I'm not a great fan. But these here, they're starting to silver in areas as well, probably because I haven't got a shiny enough surface for them to go down on. But yeah, they're thick, they're hard, they're tough, they don't settle down, they haven't got a particular nice finish on them. They've really got nothing going for them. And if this is the standard of Hobby Boss decals, then I suggest you buy an aftermarket set if you've got that B24 Liberator, because if this is what they're like, then you don't want to be putting them on that bad boy. So I need to keep putting Microsol on here, which I will do. Another little tip, guys, you get all these special holders you can buy. I keep a an old Johnson's Cotton Buds tub, and then by using different size bottles you can make your own stands like this, so you don't actually drop your stuff. So you don't need to spend all that money on dedicated dedicated bits of kit for holding your bottles and stopping them falling over. So let's just give these another soak. If they don't go down, I'm going to have to attack them with some leveling thinners. That should make them go. And the silvering, oh, I don't know. What I'm tempted to do is perhaps locally, if I get any problems, I'll cut the decal, whatever you want to bloody call it. I'll cut it and then apply some Future to let that soak into it, and then once it's clear coated, it shouldn't notice. But you can see the amount of the stuff I'm putting on here. It's it's quite ridiculous. The last couple of kits I've done that Meng, that little Meng World War tank. Can't remember the name of it now, but yeah, the decals on that, they look painted on. I mean, they're just wonderful. They've gone down beautifully. This is really hard work, and not really enjoying it, to be honest. But like I say, it was a fun build, and at the end of the day, if it's not perfect, then it's not perfect. But as a kind of, it's not so much a tutorial for you guys, but it's this is how I do it. I'd like to get some better results, really. I mean, it looks like it's starting to go down. We're starting to see the rivets start to come through. I'm just gonna have to keep working at it and not let them dry out, really. So but anyway, I'm gonna take the Mustang out for a spin today. It's a nice sunny day, and go to Antics and get my Revell Spitfire. So if you want to see a build of that online, let me know. I'll probably buy something else while I'm there as well. I normally do. So there we go. That's that. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a minute. I'll get some more on here and just keep going, really, and then once I feel like I've got as far as I can, we'll get a gloss coat on, and that'll be the end of part 4. So then, guys, just to finish this off, just in case you can hear anything in the background, I'm sorry, it's one of my neighbours with their petrol powered high pressure washer going. So if you hear this brrr in the background, I guess it'll be quiet in the compressor anyway. I've also moved the compressor away from the bench now, so it was pointed out to me in my last little painting experiment that yeah, the camera shakes when the compressor comes on, so that won't happen today. I need to move the compressor. So right, these decals, whatever you want to call them, I have now brushed Mr. Surfacer on them, and that has worked. Mr. Surfacer, Mr. Hobby leveling thinners, and that has made them settle down. Now it does give them a bit of a wrinkly finish, as you can see on that one there. It will wrinkle up the larger ones, and you need to be really quick. You just brush it on and get out. Don't hang around. You can see here there's an area there where I've gone through to the primer. That's literally where I touch the paint with the brush. So you need to be really, really careful and not actually, well, try not to touch the paintwork at all with the brush. I'll have to go back in and just blow that in after. So what I'm going to do now is give this a gloss coat just to seal these in. You can see there's a lot of marking on there where I've brushed them. It is really, really hot. So I actually tried the Tamiya X22A on there, and that didn't work. So I literally brushed this stuff on, hoping it was going to you know, have some effect, and it has. It's made them go down into all the rivets and everything, but it has made them a little rough. So I'm just going to give this a quick gloss coat now just to seal them. I'm not after really necessarily a glossy finish, but it's also going to show me, like there, I think I've got some silvering. So I just want to get a gloss coat on here and see how it goes. It's turning into a bit of a nightmare, but I'm going to show you how easy it is. And also, Oki has asked, does this aqua gloss dull real brass? So I've got a piece of scrap photo etch here, which I've pinned to this old piece of balsa wood. I'm going to spray that and we'll see how it looks. So I'll do that first, and then we'll see how it looks after we've finished and that's dried. So literally, you take the top off of this, you pour it in your airbrush, like so, and that's it. Job done. And a little test spray on a piece of paper. Yeah, that's coming through lovely. You have to be careful of moving the airbrush around too much because it will splash. So just going to spray this on here now. Give it a couple of light coats. Let that sit. Now, I didn't clean this or anything. I probably should have washed it up with alcohol. But let that sit. You can see I've got a couple of coats on there. There's a little bit of orange peel. That'll level down and we'll see what it looks like. So let's get these decals covered up and get this bloody thing out of the way. So you can see that's going on, and it's giving it a bit of a stipply finish, but as you put it wet on wet, it tends to settle down. So I'm just going to concentrate on the area where the decals are. No point in gloss coating the whole thing really. So once again here, I'll do this area here. Here, go around this roundel. I don't normally spray at the bench. I've got a booth to my right, so the hose is kind of stretched to its limit really while I'm doing this. So which is why you'll see I'm a little bit restricted with my movement. But you know, the things I do for you guys, it's ridiculous really. So let's just get some on here. Yeah, it's been tough. These decals have been very tough. A lot of work. It took me longer to put the decals on than it did to paint the thing. Like I said, just want to make sure they're... You can hear my airbrush whistle. I think it must have a slight blockage. There we go. And with this stuff, it doesn't really matter how heavy you put it on because it just dries back. You will obviously lose detail if you put it on too heavily, but it does. It's like when you spray thin enamel. When you spray thin acrylic paint, it sort of dries back and leaves nothing behind. And there we go. So just going to blow that off a bit. You can see I've even got some pooling there. So, but I've kind of, you'll never see me do modelling like this again. Let's put it that way. I've kind of given up on this thing. I'm quite tempted to just give this to a model shop or something to put in their window, because you know, it's not very nice. And there she is, all done. What I've done, I've gone over with the gloss, as you can see, and it's settled down nicely. Still needs to pull down some more, but it's not going to go any more now. But it's gone down a bit better. The Mr. Leveling Thinners has made quite a difference actually. So if you are doing this kit, perhaps try that. I can tell you the Tamiya thinners has no effect on it. I mean, I did put these on with hot water, so you know it's and I used Microset, and I tried the Gunsman as well, and nothing has seemed to have worked. So as a last resort, and if you remember that area there that was pulled, you can see it's gone down flat. The Aqua Gloss is very forgiving. You can really get away with murder with it. So there we go. Looks nice, doesn't it, with the spinner and everything. I just got to paint the exhaust now and clip them, and they just snap fit in, and fit the undercarriage, and then we're done. So we'll call that a day for part 4. Oh, one thing I forgot to show you. Oki asked me to show this, and you can see that where I've put the Aqua Gloss on the brass. Just make sure you're in shot there so you can see it. It hasn't affected the LED lights. It hasn't affected the shine on the brass or anything. The reflectivity. If you're looking at it here, you can see this area up here, sort of above this line, isn't painted. This underneath it is. So yeah, Aqua Gloss doesn't affect it at all, really. So there you go. So thanks for watching. That's part 4 over with, and part 5 will be all about weathering and getting it all finished up. So I'll see you then.